How much money is not having a Tranont financial education membership costing you? Have you ever made a bad financial decision? Have you ever received poor advice related to your finances? Are you learning how to play the game of finances, or do you trust others to play the game for you? How much can a Tranont membership save you by avoiding poor financial decisions? And more importantly, how much money can you make with Tranont? Let's talk about 10 different examples. The first example is mindset. What you focus on expands, so how are you thinking about money? Are you always focusing on the money you don't have, or are you thinking about how to keep it, grow it, and make more of it? Why is it that most people who win the lottery are broke a few years later? A Sports Illustrated article reports the grim statistics that 78% of NFL players faced bankruptcy or serious financial stress within just 2 years of leaving the game, and 60% of NBA players faced the same dire results in 5 years. What's the solution? With a Tranont membership, you get access to top personal coaches like Julius Henderson, who is the personal coach of some of the top CEOs, presidents, and leaders in the country. Learn how to think differently about money. How much is this worth? I would say this one is priceless. Many successful people are paying thousands of dollars every month for personal coaching. The second one is not having a private reserve. In my experience, the number one cause of the financial mistakes people make comes down to not having access to their money when they need it. Maybe you have an unexpected expense, lose your job and have a few months without income, or have a great opportunity that presents itself. When this happens, if you don't have a private reserve, there are two major mistakes people make. First, the average American carries a $15,000 balance on credit cards. If you could receive a 7% return on your investments, then it's not just the amount of interest that you're paying on those credit cards. It's the amount of opportunity cost that you're losing on those interest payments. So yes, $118,000 in interest over 40 years is a lot of money, but what if you could invest that interest at a 7% return? In 20 years, that's $121,000, and in 40 years, that's $590,000 in lost opportunity cost. The second is cashing out a 401k. Recent data compiled by Fidelity notes that 1 in 3 401k participants has cashed out of his or her plan, often when changing jobs. The average balance that people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are cashing out is $14,300, according to a recent Fidelity study, which means that a 7% return over the next 20 years, that could have been over $57,000. Over 40 years, it could have been over $233,000, which is what you lost in lost opportunity costs. At Tranont, we will teach you the private reserve strategy, which can make a significant impact on your finances. Number 4 is mortgages. It's too confusing, so which one is best? Your house is probably the largest personal investment you will make. How you decide to pay for it can create unnecessary wealth transfers. If you have a $250,000 house at 5% over 30 years, that loan is going to cost you $233,000 of interest. But what's more important is that a 7% rate of return on your investments, the opportunity cost on that interest is over $1.6 million. The cost of this can be hard to calculate, but with a Tranont membership, you get access to a financial coach that can help you with some of these difficult decisions. One of the most important is number 5, the impact of loss. According to Time magazine, 70 million Americans admit that their 401k is not working for them. And why is that? As you can see, if we had $1 in 2000, after 2000 with a 10% loss, we would only have 90 cents. In 2001, we would be down to 78 cents, and in 2002, we'd be down to 60 cents. As you can see, in these good years, we're just trying to get our dollar back. In 2007, we got our dollar back, but as you may know, at the end of 2007 and into 2008, we dropped down to about 60 cents again. And these last several years, we've just been trying to get that dollar back. So over these 13 years, that $1 or that $100,000 has only turned into either $1.26 or $126,000. In other words, we've only had a 1.6% actual return in those 13 years. But what if at Tranont we could show you how to take out those losses and put a ceiling of 14%. What would that do to that dollar? Now that dollar never loses, and as you can see, it only moves forward. That can be a very significant impact on your total financial situation, and that $1 will now turn into $250, or $100,000 could turn into $250,000. As you can see, it's a very significant difference by eliminating those losses. By learning these indexing strategies at Tranont, it could potentially save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Number 6 is taxes. On a 40-year career, average income of $43,000, with inflation adjusted, you have a tax bill of $355,000. If you have an income of $100,000 over 40 years, it's $763,000 in taxes. This will be one of your largest expenses in life. With the Tranont membership, we offer a tax app, which can potentially save you up to 30% on your expenses. This can create a significant tax savings. With the Tranont tax app, you can manage your expenses and see on a monthly basis how much you're saving. Number 7 is identity theft. This is becoming an increasing problem, with over $20 billion lost or stolen in 2013. Just because you're not required to buy insurance on your identity like you are your car insurance doesn't mean that you don't need to protect your identity, which could potentially cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. With the Tranont membership, you get Tranont Defend to protect your identity, monitor your credit, and even protect your computer where most of the time your identity is stolen. Number 8 can be extremely expensive by not managing and keeping a budget. It's amazing how much it costs us by not managing our finances correctly. By not knowing what's coming out of our accounts, we can pay lots of money in overdraft fees. Just because your account says there's money in there doesn't mean you should spend it. The days of using a check register are over. Today you need Tranont OneView to manage all of your finances in one view that gives you access to all of your financial details. It allows you to track upcoming expenses and bills and when they are due. It gives you access to coupons and discounts to save money. In short, it's a complete money management tool to help you manage your finances. Number 9 is financing your vehicles. It's interesting to me that most people in America will lose more money financing the cars they drive to work than they will accumulate in their lifelong savings accounts. For example, if you were paying $400 a month or $4,800 a year over the next 20 years at an interest rate of 5%, this could be over $166,000 in lost opportunity costs. And over 40 years, you're talking over $600,000 in lost opportunity costs. So what is Tranont's solution? It's simple. We're going to show you how you can drive a car for free. How would you like $500 every month for a Jeep payment? With a Tranont membership, it's more simple than you might think. This could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Number 10 is Social Security. Over 74% of Americans are taking less Social Security benefits than they could. How many thousands of dollars is that costing you? With the Tranont Financial Membership, you get a personal financial coach who can teach you things like file and suspend and restricted applications. As you can see, by not having a financial education, it can potentially cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So how much does it cost to learn how to save all this money? Would you pay $25,000 for this knowledge? Would that be worth it? I wish it did cost $25,000, because if you spent $25,000, how serious would you be? How serious would you take your finances? However, unfortunately, everyday Americans don't have $25,000, so they would put it on a credit card or cash out a 401k, which would be pretty hypocritical, wouldn't it? How could we ethically tell them to do that when we're trying to teach them how to avoid those mistakes? So instead, we only charge $100 a month. Now, to be fair, if we look at the opportunity cost of that $100 a month, that could potentially be between $52,000 and $256,000 over the next 20 to 40 years. But of course, Tranont has a solution for that as well. For a one-time startup cost of $249 and $15 a month for the tools to manage your business, if you refer 3 members to Tranont, your monthly membership is now free. That's right, everything that we have been talking about can be yours for free every single month. And of course, this is just the beginning. You become like the people you hang around with most, Come and join Tranont and join a group of people who are trying to better their financial situation and help others do the same. Thank you for your time, and please contact the person who sent you this video and find out how you can get started today in changing your financial future.